Welcome to another episode of the Meydan Free Zone podcast. Today, we're joined by the business leaders of Emerald 24. Emerald 24 is revolutionizing the financial solution landscape, enabling entrepreneurs to open personal and business multi-currency accounts. Welcome to the podcast, Rodi and Ranjeet. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for
doing good.
For our audience that might not know who you are, can you please introduce yourselves and tell us what you do at Emerald 24?
My name is Rodi, so I am the head of the DIFC branch of Emerald 24, and we recently opened a branch in the DIFC in Dubai in September.
And myself, Ranjeet, thank you so much for having me here. And I look after relationship management and onboarding new clients and expansions.
I wanted to get the podcast started by discussing a very big, I think, pain point that a lot of entrepreneurs across the world as well, not only in the UAE, experience, and that is opening bank accounts and also dealing with multi-currency exchange across the world. Can you tell us a little bit about those challenges, how you've seen them in your experience, and how Emerald 24 hopes to solve these problems?
It has become increasingly challenging to open both a personal and a corporate bank account, whether it's in the UAE or globally. And with our solution, we're essentially able to provide a multi-currency account within the matter of 2 days, whether it's a corporate entity or individual in the UAE or globally. And we have a tailored approach for every client, meaning we are in dialogue with every client, getting to know them. That's something, a personable service that we pride ourselves in. We're always willing to discuss this potential case with every client to see what their needs are, because usually the client is just not a number for us. We're getting to know them, to understand their situation. One of the challenges is that the same template is always used for every client, whether it's in UAE or internationally. And a lot of questions may not be relevant to that specific client. What we do is basically we get to know the client, what the nature of their business is, and making sure that the account is opened for them efficiently and quickly.
Yeah, at the same time, we also appoint a dedicated account manager who is always available for any kind of assistance or any kind of further requirement for the client's need.
The critical parts, especially at the beginning phases of any startup or any venture that an entrepreneur is exploring, is stabilizing their financial transactions, how they're going to receive money and how they're going to send money, no matter what kind of service or product they're wanting to explore and selling or providing. Can you tell us why the whole idea of having a multi-currency exchange system within a company is important, especially when a startup is just starting out and when they're starting to scale as well?
So essentially, as a business, whether it's an international business, has multiple suppliers or multiple counterparties, a multi-currency account is especially needed in the instance when you have trading partners across the globe. For example, if an individual starts a company in Meydan Free Zone and they have counterparties in Europe or in Asia, whatever the case may be around the globe, with the multi-currency, they'll be able to utilize our services. So we offer, of course, the major currencies, but we offer 30 plus currencies for our clients. It has significant savings on international foreign currency exchange rates, so resulting in significant savings for the clients. And with multiple currencies, it also provides our clients a global reach. So they're able to reach their partners in many countries around the globe, because sometimes, there are certain currencies that are accepted and not accepted, and we're able to provide that solution for our clients.
COVID, I think, really promoted this idea of now expanding. A lot of companies, I think, before COVID wanted to or hadn't really explored expanding beyond maybe their country or maybe their region. And now I think a lot of people migrated towards doing e-commerce trading. And that's where I would believe that multi-currency exchange is very, very important, or a multi-currency account becomes very, very important, which is great as well, because if you're in an entrepreneur that's, let's say, at the point where they want to scale, now they have no area is too far to reach. And now with a multi-currency account, they can also tap into that with what you're saying, even saving costs, saving time as well, at least with Emerald 24's solutions. They can trust that whatever transactions they're doing, no matter what part of the world they're trying to reach, it's going to be a safe, secure transaction, and they can get their money, within a quick time.
Yes, absolutely. And with us, it provides a global reach for our clients. And one of the big benefits is also our key business is cross-border payments. That's the nature of our business. And these days, one of the challenges is you have to physically go to a bank or a financial institution to open an account, whatever the case may be. With us, The process is done completely online. You submit all your documents online. You're communicating with one of the staff members directly who is managing your case, reviewing your documents. If anything is needed, they can reach out to you. But essentially, there's always an open dialogue. You can do all of this on the comfort of your home or your office, and you will get a quick and efficient answer. The key elements is the human touch, the individual approach in our business.
Yeah. At the same time, we have a boutique approach where each and every customer is being treated as a special customer.
And I think that's really great, especially considering the Meydan Free Zone partnership. The partnership between Emerald 24 and Meydan Free Zone, there's a lot of synergies because you guys say everything is digital, with Meydan being the UAE's #1 digital free zone. I think it works very, very well because now not only do clients get to get their licenses completely digitally, they can also get all of their multi-currency accounts sorted out by Emerald 24 digitally as well. When you consider the UAE, at the end of the day, it's a global hub. A lot of people from around the world are coming, and a lot of people are here in periods of time that don't necessarily mean long-term. An entrepreneur, even an individual, has a multi-currency account or has that possibility available to them. It doesn't limit them to be just in one location, which I think UAE is incredible for. It's a location where people come and bring investment, they come and start their business, but they know that they can also travel in and out, being a central location to the world. I don't know if you have any stories relating to that as well. I know Emerald 24 also has a headquarters in the UK, and how that collaborates. Why did you choose moving to Dubai or expanding a branch here?
Yes, so our headquarters are based in London, the UK, and we decided to open up a branch in the DIFC in the UAE. As you have mentioned, Maria, Dubai has become, and UAE has become a big international hub for international business, finance, multinational corporations come to Dubai, open up their offices, as well as individuals, companies in Meydan Free Zone and other free zones in the UAE. So this is a great opportunity for us also to expand our business, as well as to fulfill the client needs. One of the great benefits in the UAE, as you mentioned, that it's located in the center of everything. So people come and go when they visit. And of course, they want to have that flexibility to travel, to spend their winters here. It's definitely a great option, I think, to get away from the snow and the ice. It's very nice to have that flexibility as far as also the business goes, because we can provide a service that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a physical office space. And that's, I think, it's one of the key aspects that we offer. The key for us is to know what the actual business, what is the nature of the business. So that's the most important thing, not the physical location. So I think that's where we can bridge this gap, create a great partnership with Meydan Free Zone companies for all the individuals and corporates that are looking to set up here, and essentially help those businesses to reach their partners. Here in the UAE, companies are formed with counterparties all over the globe. And I think that's where our solution will come into place to help facilitate those payments across the world.
Considering UAE banks, especially traditional banks, they have very difficult onboarding process. Since we are a digital bank, so we have a very smooth, user-friendly approach where you can do everything online, as he said before. So I think this is a main USP we have, and which can be catered by all the potential clients who is coming in Meydan Free Zone and setting up an office.
And I think as well, another element that I think Emerald 24 is really great in terms of the partnership is that you guys don't require necessarily a physical office to be established to open up a bank account with you guys. And I think that works really well as well with Meydan, because we're a non-real estate dependent authority as well. Our clients end up getting flexi-desk leases here in Meydan Free Zone offices. And sometimes certain banks do require you to have opened an office space or have a dedicated location here. And without it, you can't open a bank account. The fact that we're removing that quite intense cost, because for a startup, they might not have all the capital to be able to invest in a new property or to expand their operations. Sometimes it's only 2 people and they need to actually have a physical space for a bank to enable them to give them the account. So how can Emerald 24 support these businesses and, be long-term partners for them in the future as well?
Our core business is small to medium-sized enterprises. So we do understand the startup business world. And this is why we think it would be a great partnership with Meydan Free Zone, because as a new startup, you might not have all big upfront costs you're dealing with and etc. So you want to save money. So with us, we offer a very customer-friendly approach and also cost-effective approach. And we're able to review a client's case even if sometimes there's a lot of questions traditionally asked that might not pertain to that particular client, but we're able to have that boutique, as my colleague mentioned, boutique approach, that tailored approach, and we understand the urgency for them to start operations quickly. So we're able to quickly and efficiently open an account.
Sometimes a lot of banks, they have automatic, tracking systems where a certain word or a certain failure to announce something automatically flags you and you don't qualify for an account. So with that being said, I wanted to get a bit of background so for our audience, they can understand. You guys have about 30 currencies available when you open an account, right? Can you tell us a bit about Emerald 24, the actual background about it, everything that goes in, how it simplifies global payments for anyone that's considering opening a multi-currency account with Emerald 24?
Just to provide some background, so the company was founded in the UK in 2018. We received our electronic money institution license in 2019, headquarters in London. We have a staff of about 40 people with different backgrounds, both former bankers, fintech professionals. So we understand the industry very well, always striving to move forward, to expand. Recently, the senior leadership of Emerald 24 UK Group made a decision to move forward with the UAE Dubai branch expansion. So we opened up a branch in the DIFC recently, a few months ago. So we understand international business and international trade. Our core business is cross-border payments. So with offices both in the UK and here, as well as we're constantly keeping an eye out for new markets, possibly expanding in the future as well. We understand the cross-border payments, the trade, the technicalities and mechanisms behind those cross-border payments. These days, it has become increasingly challenging sometimes to conduct business transactions. There might be many questions that are asked for a simple transaction, but as companies registered in the Meydan free zone or anywhere else in UAE, for example, it's really important to make sure that your payments to your partners, your suppliers are conducted in a timely manner. So with us, we strive to provide that service to our clients. And if there's any issues or if there's any questions, you don't need to deal with a chatbot or with a customer service. It's a human approach always. You're always be able to, within a phone call or a message away from your account manager. And this is what we always like to mention is that no matter how big or small the client is with us, there's always a dedicated person assigned to that client throughout the...
Ranjeet had mentioned there's an account manager. So they assist with the entire application? How does it work?
So essentially they come on board, we review the documents, the KYC form, and they will support you throughout the entire application process as well as after as well.
And the client is on live, they start the transactions. He will be always with you for any kind of support, whether the transaction is being paid on time or any delay or any supporting documents required. He's always with you.
It really does remind me of everything that happens with Meydan. We also have an account manager depending on the case, and you get to do everything digitally, including the KYC as well. So it really does, I think, facilitate also not needing to travel every 2 seconds to go speak to your dedicated account manager or speaking directly with a person. No, not a person, a chatbot or, those prompts. So I think that also saves a lot of time and saves a lot of patience. You're already so stressed as an entrepreneur that you don't really need a bank or a financial service provider to just irritate you even more and ruin something in your day even further. But one thing I did want to ask you guys, because I know about banks and I know how they work and things like that, but I don't know the specific, technical terms and things like that. I wanted to talk to you about how things like do you call it SEPA or SEPA?
Yeah, SEPA.
And then Target 2 and other kind of things. Why are those important and what do they do for any entrepreneurs? Because personally, I have no clue.
SEPA is a payment platform within European Union. So it's all for Euro payments. It's interconnected, really fast payments for Euros. Target 2 is essentially very similar also for Euro payments, but that's in an instance where one party is in European Union and the other one might be somewhere else. And SWIFT is international. So it's a
SWIFT I do know.
Yeah, messaging
SWIFT is
system.
not the one. The other two are the other ones that I have no clue, had never even heard of them.
We have those payment infrastructure, and basically one of the major benefits of these is that we're able to offer clients a wider network of payment rails. So they provide multiple currencies, multiple ways. We have a list of our corresponding partners that we work with to facilitate our payments. And with these types of mechanisms, we're able to provide the global reach for our clients. That's, I would say, the most important thing.
And one thing I also wanted to touch on is you had mentioned the USPs of Emerald 24. Emerald 24, like you guys said, has a boutique, more of a bespoke approach when dealing with their clients. Why would you say that this is the more appropriate way or potentially the future for banking solutions? Because nowadays, like we mentioned earlier, we have a lot of experiences with chatbots and we have to deal with a lot of first communications with a non-real person all the way to the point, and then maybe you'll get connected to a person. I've had cases where I'm on the phone and they say to you, please go to the website, blah, 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 and then you can do it there. Never spoke to a person, never got dealt with anyone, and the solution's not fixed. Why would you say that this whole direct communication, personalized form of contact with people, especially when it comes to finances, is so important?
See, when you are dealing in finance, especially with the money matter, you always wish to have someone personally with you. For example, you are initiating any transactions and you want to know where the transaction is being held or is being paid. So when you are calling to any bank like UAE banks, it's become so annoying when you are calling and taking 10-15 minutes and the virtual assistant is assisting you by saying that, okay, you select the language, then you select the options 1, 2, 3, 4, and it takes almost 10-15 minutes.
And then sometimes even the options aren't even the right ones because they're so vague, you don't know if it's the correct one. And then they connect you to someone. And then they tell you, sorry, I will redirect you to the correct person.
You won't be able to get your answer, whatever you are looking. But in our case, since you have a dedicated account manager, you don't need to go with this kind of process. You can directly communicate and get your answer done. So it's a very smooth, user-friendly approach.
You know what I find a little bit ironic though, because although you guys have a very customized and personal approach to assisting your clients, it is digital. So there's kind of like a dual side to it. And normally you would expect with a traditional bank, you can go to the office and you meet. But the fact that you guys are completely digital, you wouldn't think that there'd be such a personalized approach. But it's incredible that you've managed to bridge the human connection through a digital platform. And I hope that all of our audience that is watching and all of the Meydan clients and even clients around the world that see the podcast or hear about Emerald 24, they get to engage and embrace that entire change. Because I think that is the new trend, the new direction of the world. Use automation, use online platforms as well more efficiently, but to not replace the human element of it, which is so important, especially with finances.
Even during the onboarding process, we try to bridge that gap. Systems and automation is great, but we always keep an open dialogue. So of course, there's account manager that's always assigned to a client with us at any point in time. But even during the application process, the client has a direct access to the decision makers. We're communicating effectively with our team, and we can review the client's case efficiently. And every client is different. Their story is different, their background, the nature of their business. So sometimes the same approach cannot be used for every client. So this is why it's very important to communicate and keep the line of communication open and review case by case. And I think that's what we pride ourselves in. I think that
makes us different.
I've dealt with a few banks in my lifetime, and it's not even been that long, and they anger me with a passion. So the fact that you guys have a personalized approach to it, I think is really, it makes it more comfortable as well dealing, because when it comes to finances or anything to do for a business, especially as an entrepreneur, that is basically your baby. You don't want to give that to or deal with someone that's not going to take it seriously or just treats you as another file number or as another account number. You want someone to, Ranjeet, Rodi, like you want the names to be told, you want them to know your history, why this is so important that we get things right. And at the end of the day, the fact that Emerald 24 is providing it, I think can give a lot of comfort to entrepreneurs that are already highly stressed. In Meydan Free Zone, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that apply from across the world. We're a 100% digital free zone, and we work 24/7. So it doesn't matter what corner in the world you're working for or wanting to get your license from, we can do it at any time of the day or any time of the night in the UAE. But sometimes these people that do apply from overseas, they don't have the time to complete all the formalities online. That's why Meydan decided to do completely digital systems for it and issue the licenses like that. How does Emerald 24 accommodate for those kinds of clients that, really can't come to the UAE, maybe only until the point that they receive their Emirates ID, but when they really cannot enter the country up until that one point that is the formality, how does Emerald 24 support them in getting their account systems sorted, and making sure that everything's viable so that even when they do finally come to the UAE, their accounts are set up and they don't have to worry and now think, oh, now I can't even start all my operations.
That is one of the main points that we offer, is that a client does not have to physically be present to open an account. The account opening process, the application, the review, and then the verification is done 100% online. So that's what creates that extra flexibility for our clients. They can be anywhere in the world running a business and, of course, traveling and cross-border payments. And we provide that flexibility. So they actually don't have to physically travel to the UAE or wherever they may be to open an account. And I think that's a major benefit.
I also wanted to touch on something when it comes to finances and cross-border transactions. There are a lot of challenges and hurdles that maybe a startup or an entrepreneur in an SME won't be able to foresee or don't really expect. Can you tell us a little bit about what they should be mindful, especially when they're wanting to engage with multi-currency approaches with their transactions?
With a global trend in finance, business owners constantly may face different hurdles. Of course, one of them is security, time, making sure their transactions are completed in a timely fashion, reaching their partners and global partners across the world. So we provide those features for our clients. Our services are secure, our payments, our secure network, our authenticators. And what we do is we learn our clients, we learn their business, and we set a profile for them, making sure we try to minimize that risk or those challenges as soon as possible. Even if there's instances when there's any questions by our partner banks or whatever the case may be, we're in open dialogue with them. So we know the client, we know their business, and we can help them. So if there's any questions on their side, clients can always count on us. They don't have to call 1-800 toll-free number or whatever the case may be. We're always there to help them.
Sometimes they're not even toll-free.
Sometimes they're not toll-free. Exactly.
You highlighted things about risk and security and things like that. How does Emerald 24 go about ensuring, I mean, you can never really ensure, especially when it comes to transactions across the world, but how does Emerald 24 go by working towards having the maximum security and reliability when people are engaging in their cross-border transactions?
So the client funds are always safeguarded. They're always kept separate. And we also have very secure systems for processing those payments as far as logging into our online platforms, authenticators, authenticating the payments, the actual transaction. So
does it have that dual factor
yes,
authentication? Yeah. It takes so long for me in some of my other applications. My banking one's quite easy, Face.
Our team members can always help you set that up. Sometimes it can be challenging, there can be questions, but we're always willing to help out.
And one of the things I think I've noticed, especially over the past, let's say, 5-10 years, there has been a higher increase of digital banks across the world. Can you tell us a bit about those trends, why that may be so? My guess is COVID really pushed a lot of people to not only buy into the idea of a digital bank, but also a lot of digital banks establishing themselves around the world. Can you tell us about those trends and where does Emerald 24 see themselves within that new emerging market?
The finance world is always evolving with the, of course, introduction of digital banks across the globe. I think, of course, COVID had one of the major impacts with lack of need to physically go into the office or to the branch of a traditional bank and sign the documents. With the digital world, you can submit those documents online, and it kind of eliminated those boundaries to be physically present to conduct business. And I think one of the major trends and one of the major future trends that we're seeing and have been seeing in the last 5 to 10 years is that digital banks or financial institutions, electronic money institutions, we try to bridge those gaps and eliminate those borders because we understand there's always traditional banking and that's very important. But with the digital banks, it's we try to make the process easier for entrepreneurs who start their business. They might not have a track record of the business and they want to open an account, but it can be very challenging. With the help of digital platforms and digital banks, we try to bridge that gap, facilitate that process, make it easier for companies, individuals to start their business wherever they may be in the world. And submitting documents, it could be very challenging as well. Attestation, legalization, it can be very costly and lengthy process as well. I think one of the main key points to keep in mind always is that every business is different business profile, different business activity. So I think often the same framework is used to analyze those clients.
Yeah, there's a very standardized way to view, except instead of a customized approach.
What we do is, or just in digital banks in general, is they're trying to bridge that gap, see what the that actual client does, and certain questions might not even apply to them, and they don't have to be asked if they're always asked.
And that ties me back into my next point, which is the partnership with Meydan Free Zone. Our aim is always to empower a business, get them operations ready. And the aim of the partnership is to find partners that end up doing that with us as well and become not only long-term partners with Meydan, but with the clients that come out of Meydan and establish their businesses. Can you tell us where Emerald 24 fits in that partnership, what you hope that our clients get to take from your services, and if not from your services right now, but what they want to understand about your industry, what they should understand if they want to open with you guys, and any other features that you'd like them to know.
One of the big things, so the core, as I mentioned before, is the core of our business is cross-border payments and competitive currency exchange rates. So going back to the partnership with Meydan Free Zone and the companies that are being set up here, if these companies have global trading partners across the globe in e-commerce, trading, and if they need access to cross-border payments, multiple currencies, this is where we are the biggest help, because we can facilitate those cross-border payments as well as provide a very competitive currency exchange rate. Because one of the biggest things, and I think one of the biggest benefits that can be beneficial for Meydan Free Zone clients and the companies that are set up here, is that with those, when they transact internationally, they'll be able to see significant savings, both on the transactional cost as well as the currency exchange rate cost. So
as a startup, we love saving.
Exactly.
We like to cut overhead costs and everything like that as much as possible and save as much time. So if you guys can provide that, I think that's a great opportunity for a lot of our clients, especially in the beginning phase or as they're scaling up as well.
We're always looking for new partnerships here locally as far and internationally to add more payment rails, to extend our business, to offer wider reach. So we're always constantly growing. And I think that's what we like to bring as a message to Meydan, to prospective clients, that, we're always evolving. Where I think that's the key of, not to sound too generic, but that's the key of every business, to always keep growing, evolving, and kind of get to know your customers and your clients.
I mean, Dubai is a land of innovation and competition. So at the end of the day, if you've chosen to be on a digital platform or participate in the digital landscape, you can only evolve. If not, you will become obsolete. There's no option other than to move forward, innovate, be better and better. And that leads me to my last question, just to end off today. What exciting ventures or features does Emerald 24 have in the pipeline that anyone, whether they're looking into using your services or Meydan clients as well, what is in the pipeline that they can look forward to?
The pipeline, you can say upgrading system, as well as we are going to offer cards payments, lots of innovations in our system, and we are expanding our network, our presence globally. So we might see that we might open office in Meydan Free Zone as well. So we look forward to have more clients with all your help. At the same time, we are also looking forward to work with the general trading companies where the core business is being involved. So I believe Meydan Free Zones must be having lots of new companies setting up here. So they might be looking some multi-currencies accounts. So where we can fill the gap and offer them some innovative product.
Especially for all the clients that require, a lot of logistics, importing and exporting, they will probably need that multi-currency approach within their system. So I think that's very great, and also very excited to see where Emerald 24 goes and the expansion across the world. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today. I'm very, very excited for the partnership, and I'm so excited for our clients to take this opportunity as well and work with you in the future.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
To our audience, thank you so much for joining us on the Meydan Free Zone podcast. We hope you gained invaluable insights from our guests Rodi and Ranjeet from Emerald 24, a company that is revolutionizing the multi-currency cross-border payment solutions across the world. We hope to see you next time to hear about more of Dubai's thriving business landscape.